Big news folks, a fresh Take-Two leak just confirmed GTA 6 is not getting delayed. Turns out GTA 6 has been in full production since 2020 with over $2 billion sunk into development. They are now deep in debugging and all the data shows the game is locked in for 2026, those climbing capitalized costs. That's Take-Two's way of telling investors GTA 6 is right on track. Trust the reports, GTA 6 launch window is set. Get hyped. So here we are looking at an unofficial GTA 6 gameplay leak. Is it actually GTA 6 gameplay? Here you can check it out and tell me if someone is actually playing the game right now. And there we are starting off with GTA 6 began pre-production in 2019, then entered for full production in 2020-2026. The 2020 development started and was confirmed by Take-Two. GTA 6 started pre-production in 2019 and did things such as testing mechanics, finding actors, working and reworking systems, script writing. The GTA 6 entered full production in 2020 and most likely entered its debugging stages in sometime in the middle end of 2024. GTA 6 has had a full development timeline of 2020 to 2026. That is a shit ton of time. There we go for actually confirmed post from the news spot, and it is actually also confirmed by the Strzelnik, which we are looking into right now. Credit out the 6 began development in earnest in 2020 following the massive success of Red Dead Redemption 2, and the title is now the most anticipated entertainment property of all time. Strzelnik, Take-Two CEO. Next up we go is actually an old kind of post. Most of them are from 1 year and more ago, which actually confirms that people already knew this information that they just released. And here we can see there's some confusion going around about GTA 6 starting development in 2020, and I think these comments should give a clear understanding on what was actually happening behind the scenes before that. So this is why they specifically said in earnest, and it's misleading to say the game was entirely built from scratch since 2020. And here we go, the first. There's the theory that GTA 6 was originally going to be set in the 80s and a drug-centered story with travelers outside a vice city to South America. That's the first GTA 6 planned to be announced in 2020 and released in 2023, but after Rockstar saw that Red Dead Online was very limited due to the time set of the game, that idea was scrapped and the leftovers of the first GTA 6 became what now in GTA Online's Cayo Perico. That first game was presumably written by Dan Houser, and watching his project getting scrapped was crucial in him leaving the company. Obviously a lot of assets from that first game are now in the second GTA 6, which is the one we saw releasing in early 2025. And it's obviously theories and speculation, there's more info to add it to it, but it's 6 AM here and I need to sleep lol. But it's surprising that Rockstar added a whole new map with lots of 80s themed vehicles that began developing around early 2020 and was released the same year is a very good clue to what happened there. If this theory is true, then the second GTA 6 didn't have Dan Houser as a part of the writing team since it began production around 2020 and also getting delayed because of the pandemic, which also confirms the development cycle of 5 years for each new game. 2013, 2018, 2023, it had a 2-year delay to become 2020-2025. If development cycle stays like this, we would likely have the next Rockstar new big game after GTA 6 in 2030. If it really began full production again in 2020, then the pre-production should have started somewhere in 2019 in the PDF screenshot sent by Teapot with another main character model in an environment built with GTA 5 placeholder assets, and it shows the version 260 from which we could guess using a bit of math and keeping in mind how build versions evolved over time in the leaked footage that the screenshot was of a build version from somewhere in 2019. And interesting enough, many buildings in the leaked footage seem to represent their counterparts from around 2015 before they got demolished, renovated, which may suggest they started scouting in 2015. And it's almost logical to think that most of the assets and things they used to for the GTA 6 let's refer to the first GTA 6 that was scrapped as a Project Americas already were made for the Project Americas, as they didn't start from zero of course. And I'm sure that Rockstar began the whole production movement of GTA 6 in 2014 to 2015 while also working on Red Dead 2. Project Americas was a side project while Red Dead Redemption 2 development, and once the game was released, it became a full-time project, especially after PC release. That was 2018 to 2020, so it's logical to think that people were already doing the foundations for Vice City around the GTA 5 PC release. There's also a possibility that Dan Houser didn't even write GTA 6. Here he is in 2018 interview saying it's really unclear that what we would even do with it, actually claiming it to GTA 6. He then leaves the company in 2020 following an extended break which began in a spring 2019. Next up we go is money talk, because Take-Two's balance sheets pretty much confirmed GTA 6 over $1 billion budget. And I'm making this pause because I've seen quite a bit of skepticism on this, so here it goes. In order to understand all these, you need to know what capitalized development costs, amortization, and COGC, cost of goods sold, means. You can get everything you need to know by asking your favorite AI what is capitalized development cost and how it relates to video games, and follow up with what is COGS. Capitalized development costs relates to yet to be released games that are being earnestly worked on, while COGC relates to released games that are already bringing money. You can get the earnings reports by googling Take-Two quarterly earnings. The specific line items are software development costs and licenses, net of current portion in the balance sheet, software development costs and royalties and licenses under cost of goods sold in the statement of operations. The format used below is fiscal year ending software development costs and licenses, non-current plus current COGS, amortized development costs and royalties plus licenses, followed by notable events for the fiscal year if it apply. The numbers are in USD millions. The amount for software development costs and licenses is balanced by the date, while the amount of COGS is for the entire fiscal year and only includes the portion for software development costs and royalties and licenses. March 31st, 2013, 294 million, so we are talking in millions, to 375 million COGS. Then we go for the Max Payne 3 BioShock Infinite Borderlands 2 release. March 31st, 2014, 2025 to COGS 397 million, which is GTA 5 release. March 31st, 2015, 287 to 309. March 31st, 2016, 439 million to 285. March 31st, 2017, 423 to 436. The Outer Worlds release. March 31st, 2018, 672 to 312. March 31st, 2019, 632 to 590. Red Dead Redemption 2 release. Then we go for March 31st, 2020, 442 million COGS, 781 million. Then we go for March 31st, 2021, 534 to 657. GTA 6 development started in earnest. March 31st, 2022, to 837 million to 671 million COGS. The Marvel's Midnight Suns releases. And then we go for a whole GTA 6 development stuff, where we start the big money talk. From March 31st to March 31st, 2023, from 1.1 billion to 742 million COGS, the March 31st, 2024, 1.5 bill to 652 million, and March 31st, 2025, almost 2 billion to 533 million. So the thing to note here is how the COGS part has not varied that much over the years, which depends on how big are the releases for a given fiscal year. Meanwhile, the capitalized development cost has exploded since GTA 6 began its development and has now reached $2 billion as of March 31st, levels that T2 has never reached before. Going by now and by how the balance has changed through the years, it's obvious how GTA 6 contribution to it by now has to be no less than $1 billion, likely 1.2 to 1.4 billion, and this game is still in active development. To put it into context for Capcom, this number, work in progress for game software, as of March 31st is 49.2 billion Japanese yen, $338 million. This is their whole slate in the pipeline and the portion of Monster Hunter Wilds that hasn't been amortized yet since it just released last quarter. There's also the fact that not all expenses of a given game are capitalized, preliminary work and non-direct costs instead get expensed right away. Also, there has not been any marketing expenses yet, and that one is gonna be big. So all in all, if we include marketing, a $2 billion budget is looking like a reality. Next up, what do we have here is the driving through the GT6 map versus GT5 map. If you have ever driven through the GT5 map, you know it's big. It's around 18 kilometers for a full drive through the map, and it takes some time, like 12 minutes depending on your car. But GT6 is on another level. A complete drive through the map is around 75 kilometers, which is about 4.5 times bigger than a drive through GT5's map, so it would take around an hour to drive through it all. Yes, you could make the point that we still don't know the road layout and that we could make the ride shorter by taking shorter rides, but we could also take longer rides. And also, what are the chances of the northern part of the maps having no roads there? I mean, we have seen them out, Kalaga screenshots, and there are roads in there. Next up we go. You can see the interior of this restaurant, and this is very interesting, as also this building is based on Seabreeze restaurant in Cedar Key, Florida, and here you can see the exact images as well as exact interior. And looking at the image of the gameplay, we can basically see some of the interior stuff, which can actually confirm the paper from one of the previous videos where I showed you that they claimed or business owners from Florida that they have sent a group of people who actually looked into interiors and wrote down the details for the company. So that's kind of confirms that there will be a lot of interiors in GT6 buildings. The next level fan-made artwork we have here. Yeah, actually the logo of GT6 ruins this one, but it still looks amazing. How someone of the fans can actually make such an artwork. This is really crazy. And there's also one more work from the fans, as here's the complete GT6 game someone made, which is cover, manual, poster plus code, as it's fully is right here. So someone gonna buy this one, even from a fan, just to have it as a collectible. That's kind of all the information we got on today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next one, and peace.